check. Mic check. Another week. Welcome to the podcast every Saturday. Shoot the Messenger. AJ here with Kendra. Kendra, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Hi to the people. And we're here. There's Kendra. There's Rick and Morty. There's Kendra. There's me. There we are. Shoot the Messenger podcast. Thanks for joining us once again every Saturday. Turns out that's when we're doing it, right?
We are. Every Saturday.
Every Saturday. We want to shoot for 2 o'clock. We want to jump the gun early this week, 1 o'clock. Let's start off with a little pleasantries. Kendra, how's life? How's things with you? And catch the people up. It's been 1 week.
Yes, 1 week. And I have seen the doctor in that week. And the doctor heavily...
Yikes.
Yeah, well, it's just a checkup. It wasn't
Yikes,
a big deal. But it was heavily recommended to me that I work out, exercise. Like, that's usually the prescription that a doctor gives you. So I've decided to go ahead and try to find some kind of activity that I can do in the wintertime because I hate the cold. And a gym. I've been looking into gyms.
I think it's hard. Oh, gym's good. It's hard to get outside. You're right. It's hard to get outside in the cold. The wintertime, like especially in Michigan, we got a lot of snow here. And it's tough to get out. It kind of like restricts you. Like I like staying in during the winter. This is the time when I stay in, but it's not good for you, I guess, huh?
No, you have to continue.
Did your doctor actually recommend you go to the gym or what? What did they say?
She multiple times she said, "Well, you need to exercise." Mm-hmm. She said
cross country ski. Go snowshoeing. I don't know.
Well, she did say, like, oh, go ahead and just bundle up.
Right.
You know, if you can't afford a gym membership, just bundle up to go outside. But there are relatively affordable gyms in this area, so I think it might be a good idea to just go to a gym. I need the accountability of either a partner going with me or a class. Like, I'm not going to just go and work out by myself. It's just not going to happen. I know myself well enough. So, it's got to be a class or I have to have somebody go with me.
Man, I don't know. Sometimes, like, gyms really turn me off. Like, you go into a gym and a lot of the equipment's, like, worn down or it's been sweated on. There's, like, bacteria everywhere. You got guys, grunting and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm doing different moves. I've had some good gyms. I once paid $155 a month for my gym membership. But I was working out. That was in LA. I was working out next to celebrities. Michael Strahan being one of them. One of your favorites.
Yeah, I do.
And he was with his wife, and it was dope, and it kind of ruined me as far as like going to different gyms. So have you looked at gyms right now, or what are you looking at going?
Well, I've heard that the Y has like a sauna, which I really I like the idea.
YMCA.
Yes.
Okay.
Has a sauna.
Yeah. Nice.
Which I'm a Finnish, and so I feel like that's like a large part of my culture.
Is that a Finnish thing?
Totally a Finnish thing. My grandma was really into saunas, which is my dad's mom, who was full-blood Finn. And my dad also has talked about saunas my entire life.
What are you saying? Sauna?
Sauna.
Kendra, it's sauna. Sauna. Anyway,
so
go ahead. You would know better. You're the Finn.
Yeah. So I like the idea of a sauna, but I understand that
I do too. I think saunas are great, steam rooms and saunas. But I was watching this Scientology thing recently, and like sweating it out in the sauna is like something you must do.
Super good for you.
But I guess it is good for you, not just for Scientologists. I don't know.
Well,
okay.
It stresses your body and you're sweating out all the extra stuff. But Planet Fitness also is a pretty good option since they're relatively affordable. They have lots of amenities. No sauna, but
Planet
amenities.
Fitness, they're the ones with the special rules, like you can't work out hard and stuff, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that like if you're like a grunter and you're a big workout guy,
what do
like
they
don't
call
want
it? They
no lunks. They have a lunk
the
alarm.
lunking. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Okay, so there's like an alarm that goes off, right?
I'm sorry, what?
An alarm that goes off?
Yes, they have an alarm.
What are you doing over there?
I'm checking the sound.
Oh, okay. How's the sound sound?
It sounds pretty good. I sound a little boomy, but you sound great in my opinion.
I'm gonna turn you down a little bit then. I'm gonna turn you down. Okay. Is it too boomy? All right, check.
Well,
give me a check.
Yeah, this is check.
Okay, and that'll come through in 2 minutes. Planet Fitness, the lunk alarm is what it's called. Let me see if I can bring this up here. Setting up.
Now I'm
okay.
too low. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Sorry. All right. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up now. The some people purposefully go into the Planet Fitness and try to set off the lunk alarm. We are not starting soon. Here we go. Let me bring this up. Okay, so Planet Fitness, these guys trying to go in, work out hard.
So, I think Bradley Martin was talking about how, like, these feel good. I didn't believe him, but, like, your forearm rests on that. It's harder on your grip, but it actually feels, like, really good doing a pull-up. All right. Recording? So the heaviest?
I don't know if this is the video. Let me see. Lunk alarm trolling. So
It is a common
people go just...
Gipsy called the cops on Arjabay. The police report says he was escorted from the gym for grunting while working out. But the manager says that's not the whole story.
He did grunt. And when I told him he wasn't allowed to grunt, he got irate with me.
That's what it sounds like right there.
Shh, be very quiet.
Having fun at Planet
I
Fitness.
don't know. I'm not huge into that. I'm not huge. Well, obviously, look at the size of me. But the grunting and the working out hard. I've maybe done it like once or twice when working out. But I don't know what. And it protects people.
Well, they say that it protects people, but I would be more intimidated by like some siren going off. Like for somebody who doesn't ever go to a gym, I would be like, what is that? Like, why is an alarm going? What did I do wrong?
Right.
Like, it would scare me. I don't even like when you're at the pool or whatever and the lifeguard whistles at somebody else, you know?
Yeah. So Planet Fitness is kind of like your only option, the YMCA, but, so many people use that. That's around the area.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Why don't you just work out at home, right? Why don't you just do the yoga? I mean, you've taken yoga classes. Why don't you just do that?
I mean, I've done yoga at home, and I could just continue to do that. I actually kind of want to get my blood flowing a little bit more than what my yoga typically does. I tend to follow one specific YouTuber for my yoga, and I can do like my own yoga routines. I have them memorized.
How are you sticking with the plan, though? I mean, is that what it's about? Is it like you need to pay a membership to stick with a plan and get it done? I mean, have you ever had a gym membership before?
No,
This is your first venture into the gym world.
Yeah, totally. First, like,
if you're paying money, you're gonna go. That's what's good about the gym.
Well, and that's why I need like the accountability of classes. Like, I need to.
Well, I'll hold you accountable. We'll hold you accountable on this podcast right here.
Or I need somebody to be like, hey, we're gonna go to the gym these days, and then we'll go to the gym together. Because I don't want to go to the gym by myself either. Like, I mean, it's one thing if you're doing a class, you can go alone to a class, but to just be like, oh, I'm gonna go work out, like,
I hear him. Okay, so that's what you're gonna get, a gym membership. We'll keep you. We'll check back next week, see how that went. And if you drag me along, that's fine too. Me personally, working with the kids right now. It's a Wonderful Life radio show broadcast. Let me bring up a little bit here. So it's a play, but it's a radio play within the play. So something like this. Let me play this video here.
5, 4, 3.
So it's a radio
This is
show.
WBFR Playhouse of the Air. It's a Wonderful Life.
Hello, Violet. Hello, Mary. Hello, George. 2 cents worth of shoelaces.
All right, let me pause it. You see how this guy's got a hoodie on?
yeah, that kind of breaks it.
What
for
the
me.
hell you doing, buddy? They're shooting today. Get the hoodie off, man. Anyway, everybody else has really great costumes.
Well, all the victory rolls in their hair, like it looks great.
Yeah, but the cool thing about this is they have onstage sound effects, so you can see those kind of sitting here. These are all sound effects that are done live on stage, and the kids are doing it. I'll bring some footage of that next week of what they actually did. We'll actually be shooting. What's your topic today? What do you bring?
I would
Let me
like
bring this
to
back. So that's what
start
I'm doing.
out
That's what I've
with-
been working on.
I'm gonna start out with Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yes, that's
Hold
what
on, I love this. This is the theme music here, not this ads. I remember this from when I was a kid, one of the most memorable theme songs forever. And let me just fast forward it. We're gonna get copyright strike if we play too much, you know what I'm saying? But
This came out in 1988. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's currently listed as number 21 on IMDb's Best B Horror Films. Now, the reason I wanted to watch this movie.
The Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Okay, so you watched this movie.
So let's give the people a little bit of background. I
Yes.
love B horror films. It's one of my favorite things to watch because I love I love horror films as it is, but
You're
something
kind of a
about,
horror film fanatic, aren't you?
I really enjoy them. Like
Better watch myself.
when I was my 20th birthday, maybe it was my 19th birthday, I had a horror movie marathon for a birthday party in the middle of summer. So yeah, I've enjoyed watching horror films most of my life, and there's something about the campiness of a B horror film that I just enjoy. So right around Halloween time, I decided that I was going to go ahead and get my chops, watch all the best B horror films.
Oh, I like it.
And so the first one I had to start out with, the top of everybody's list of B horror movies that you have to watch, was Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
I love it.
So this was the
I
first
remember
one that
this
I
as a
watched.
kid, man. The clowns, they scared the crap out of me because I was so young when I saw it. But now it's more hilarious. So going back and revisiting it, watching it as an adult, the 20-something, is there a difference between a horror film and a scary movie? Nolan Richardson would like to know. Thanks, Nolan.
I don't know if I would say that there's a difference between a horror and a scary movie. I mean, a horror could be a scary movie. I guess I don't know if all scary movies are horror though. I think we're talking semantics here.
Yeah.
So, but either way, we're in the B horror film genre.
Right.
And before I even watched this film, I kind of wrote down my first thoughts. And like growing up, I never really liked clowns. Not a fan. And so I was kind of nervous going into this, but I loved the music, as you said. Like it's got a great theme. It's personalized. It's a personalized theme. And some of the ways that they kill the humans is just hilarious.
Really? Okay, so how do they kill the humans? Let's talk about that.
Well-
let's talk about. I remember this. I remember them killing the humans in certain ways.
There was the popcorn gun.
Okay.
That was, so the popcorn actually like stuck to them, and then it like went to the girl's it stuck to her clothing, and then it went to her bathroom with her. This is the beginning scene when they're they're on the necking point.
Necking point. Okay, so they come from outer space. They have a popcorn gun. That's one of the ways.
Yep.
Oh, whoa!
There's the
Look
top,
at that.
that's when it's
Oh, they hide in the circus like that. That's their spaceship, and it looks like a circus top.
yeah, it
okay.
does. Yep. So there's the circus tent. So
Oh, look at that.
look at those clowns. Look at that makeup.
Okay, so
And-
what was that? What was that? The popcorn gun there?
Yeah, that was the beginning of the popcorn gun. So the popcorn stuck to her clothing when she goes home, she's in the bathroom, she takes the shower, and she puts her clothing
I
in the
remember.
dirty hamper.
Yeah.
And then she's getting ready, and then all of a sudden a monster, like these little snake-type clown things, pop out of the hamper and start attacking her.
Oh my God.
And then she goes to jump out of the window, and the three clowns are waiting at the bottom with a little trampoline.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So she can't get away.
All right, let's watch this for a little bit. Let's catch up here. Let me.
Knock my block off.
Yeah, she does.
Soon they'll be.
Okay, I remember
shadow
that. He's
puppet.
making the shadow puppets, and he does that with his fingers. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Lucifer asking, how old is this movie? It was made in 1988.
88. Okay, all right. So it is pretty old. Boom! There we go.
The skeptical cop, that cop on the right, is drunk all the time, really angry, doesn't believe that it's happening.
Wow.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, so she gets caught in the shower, and then she goes to jump, and there they are waiting
Yep.
for her. Look at these clowns, man. That just scared the crap out of me.
And let me talk briefly about the makeup since we're on it.
Okay.
When I saw these clowns, I was thinking, my
Yikes.
God, this reminds me so much of Ernest Scared Stupid and the troll that was in Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yeah.
The troll? I think I have that. Here we go.
And
This guy?
yes. See
Wow.
the wrinkles, it's all drooly. He's very he's just a very drooly monster and made up. And I did a little bit of research, and it turns out both the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid and the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they were both special effects created by Bart Mixon.
All right.
So the same guy did the makeup for Ernest Scared Stupid, and he also did Killer Clowns
He's
from
got
Outer
Super
Space.
Soaker. That's
Oh, yeah.
sweet. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid. All right.
Yeah, and Ernest Scared Stupid, that was a movie I watched as a kid. That came out in 91,
Yeah.
and that terrified me.
Dude,
like,
look at that.
movie scared
Yeah,
the
look
living...
at these guys, man. That's 1980s, was it? 1990s.
1991, yeah.
Makeup at its best.
And like this guy, actually, he has some really great makeup chops. I mean, not only did he do that, but he also did Men in Black 2, Halloween 2. He did not Return of the Living Dead 3.
Nice.
Moving to modern ones. Oh, he did It. He did the original It.
Stephen King's It.
He also did Star Trek in 96.
Yeah, so you got a lot of jobs.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Which
this
one?
guy,
The
the one with
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
No kidding.
So this guy is like a pro when it comes to makeup.
Okay, so he did the makeup. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk about the cotton candy here, the cotton candy scene, right? So this is another way they kill the humans in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, right?
Yeah, they put them first. They like put them in the little balloons, and that's how they transported them to the place where they put them in the cotton candy, and the cotton candy kind of like turned him into this like gel, and that's what you see the clown doing is he's like sucking up the insides.
Bart Mixon is a legend, says Nolan. Total legend. Look at it. So he's got his super straw here. He sticks it in, and then they suck the blood out of the cotton candy, which is crazy. Okay. Let me. Love the music. What's with the pies?
Oh, the pie totally just like disintegrates him, so he turns into this little pile of human mush.
So basically, they take everything that clowns do regularly, and they make them into some sort of horror thing.
Yeah,
It's
makes
cotton
it
candy.
like the scariest thing for a kid. Like, oh, this is a good time.
Look
No,
at this.
it's
See,
not.
this guy was the funny one, the little baby clown. Okay, so you watch this. Like, I haven't seen this since I was very little. It's like one of those things you look back like, does this show exist?
Want to play games? You're messing with the wrong guy. What are you in for?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns
It's
from Outer Space.
crazy.
Wow.
So good. One of my favorite lines from this movie is, "There's no time to explain. Clowns are killing people." And it's like, I think you just explained it. But
Right.
so this movie really kind of asks more questions that it provides answers, because you don't really get any like, why were they there? I mean, I guess to eat the people? Question mark.
I remember this.
Why clowns?
I remember this. This guy's driving down the road, and he's got an invisible bike, and he just kind of comes up. And isn't there a clown car gag in this too?
Yeah. There's totally a clown car gag where
Where
they're
they,
like
like-
all in a little bitty car and.
Everything you hate about clowns in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So after watching it from 1988, after rewatching this crazy B horror movie, how would you rate it?
So I rated the B horror movie on several things. I thought about, first of all, I did a lulls count. So I actually counted how many times I actually laughed out loud, which is really important when you're talking about a B horror film and how much they make you laugh. And that actually got a lulls count of 6. I was probably a little generous with that. Like, I probably wrote down a chuckle. And then for self-awareness, so how much they know that they're in a horror movie.
So this is a sign of a good B-rate horror movie if they have self-aware, like they understand that where they're at.
Yeah. So like I would consider Scream to be an excellent example of like how self-aware that movie was. It's really better than a B horror film, but Scream had a self-awareness like 100%. Totally.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah, Scream was. I didn't even realize how self-aware Scream was until I rewatched it in my 20s.
I don't know about that. I mean, Scream, they always like riffed on now you gotta die. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But they didn't really like comment that they were in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't expect these movies to do that either. So it's really it's really more about being cheeky with the audience. And I think Scream did a good job of that. But I gave this movie a 2 out of 5 as far as self-awareness. So a little less self-aware. And ridiculousness was the other factor that I rated this movie on. And it got a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Whoa. So overall rating for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, as far as B-rate horror movies go, the horror
I mean, I would have to average it
Expert.
out and say like it's like a 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5.
It really does stand as an excellent movie. And if you want to watch a good B horror film, if you've never seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, there's a reason it tops everybody's list as a B horror film you should watch. But if you're like not into clowns and you're like, I want something a little bit scarier, this is not it.
Okay. All right. Kill it. But it's good. I mean, you would say the last one you did, what was the last one you did?
It was Return of the Living Dead.
And you like that a little bit better than Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
That movie, but I love zombie films.
Right.
Like zombie films are my jam.
Okay.
And so that movie was just, it was funny, self-aware. It was also, it referenced George Romero's films, like, and it was just done very well.
Okay.
So this movie, I still think it was really great. The effects and everything were really cool, especially to watch as an adult. Like as a kid, I think I remember watching this as a kid, and the shadow puppet scene scared the living daylights out of me.
Right.
But as an adult looking for a good time, I don't think I think it's worth a watch if you've never seen it.
The Killer Clowns. All right, moving on to the next topic here on the Shoot the Messenger podcast. The holidays are coming up and everybody's looking to save money.
Well, let's answer a couple of questions. I'm sorry.
Oh, you okay? Go ahead.
Let's answer a couple of questions from the audience. Nolan wanted to know what planet we're from. That's one of the many questions that the movie kind of raised and didn't answer, and that's why I don't like. That's part of the reason why I don't like this movie as much as I could, because it does raise more questions than it answers. And then Lucy asks, since it was invisible, the bike, I assume it was covered in a green screen. I actually don't know how they did that effect. Do you have any speculation on how they might have done the invisible bike?
Yeah, just like they did, it's basically in studio. The guy's not really driving. He's just sitting there and he's bouncing around and the clown car is sitting there and he's sitting on a stool. A lot of the effects are really terrible. They're stop motion animation, looks like.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. But I didn't watch the movie recently. I just, from what I picked up from the preview.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Now let's move on.
Okay. So right now the holidays are coming up. Everybody's looking to save money, and I saw this on a subreddit, and it was, what are some $30 items and under $30 and under items that have greatly increased your quality of life? So these are items that you could probably pick out for a loved one for holiday shopping, right?
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, and I like a lot of these. We'll keep going down the list because there's quite a few of them. Insulated thermal bags. Okay, so this is something under $30. You can keep your hot food hot and your cold food cold. Usually they run about $30, but that's a great shopping idea. Have you used one of these?
Yeah, I totally have one in my car just in case. You can put cold food in it. I was using it for a while when I was doing shipped shopping because you have to have some kind of insulated bag.
We covered that in the previous podcast. Shipped shopping.
But also like Thanksgiving, it came in really handy during Thanksgiving because you could just put all the food in there and it stayed nice and insulated.
Where were these?
While we were
They
traveling
weren't
home.
around in the 90s and things like that. I mean, you had to you usually use a cooler, but now you can get them in this bag and they can hold a lot of things. Just great to have them around. Always useful. You're bringing home food from the store, or if you're, frozen items or hot items. If you got it takeout. Let's keep going. A portable cell charger. Items under $30. Portable cell phone charger. Literally anybody can use that. It's great on trips. You can understand why, right?
Yeah, totally.
Everybody has a phone. Everybody's going to download Diablo Immortals. So go ahead and get yourself a cell phone charger so you can play all the time. I remember when Pokemon Go came out, everybody was buying the big cell phone chargers. Do you remember that? Like walking around. The neighborhood when Pokemon Go came out was a buzz. Everybody was outside playing the damn game. And it was crazy. But and that's when I bet the cell phone charger, portable cell phone battery companies really made a lot of money. But it's always a good price. Technology in general is really good, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's affordable and it's something like, I actually last Christmas got my family a little solar charger because they do a lot of traveling.
Do they use it?
I'm pretty sure that they do because they don't always have a plug, so just take it outside and let the sun charge the battery pack and then plug their phone.
Okay, now somebody suggested this, items that are $30 and under for the holidays to get your loved ones. A fabric shaver. right? You ever wash your clothes and after a while they start to get dingy? You get the little lint balls on them. Just shirts start to look old. I guess a fabric shaver. Have you ever experienced with this? They kind of shave off all the little lint balls and things like that.
I've seen them. I've never used one. I don't have one. It sure would be nice to try it out.
I used one and it caught one of the threads and it started pulling out the thread. So you got to be careful with these. Some of them are better than others, but yeah, wash items on your gentle cycle. I always turn my clothes inside out, but they say a fabric shaver, right? It kind of just like shaves off all the lint. I got a dog looking at me right now. Hey, little buddy, how you doing? You're fine. Anyway, so it does really work, especially when you have those sweaters that start gathering those lint balls.
Pills is what they're called. They pill up. The sweaters do.
Right, right. And you'll notice, like, even with like a flannel shirt, you know, it'll kind of just trim that stuff back. So it's a good fabric shaver. Electric toothbrush. Boom.
Oh, man.
The new age, $30 and less. Get the electric toothbrush. I gotta say, my dentist recommended it. You can get them now for under $30 too, and it's life changing. Kendra, you just recently got one, didn't you?
I did. I was like fighting against it because I'm super cheap.
You're fighting against it?
I get a free toothbrush from my dentist. Why would I buy an electric toothbrush? And it's because it works better. I mean, you're brushing for longer. My teeth feel better.
I didn't even realize.
Cleaner. Yeah.
I didn't even realize how much more work it does for you than a regular toothbrush, but you can get them for under $30. It's a good investment, especially for your own teeth too. I'm gonna get rich so I can pop tags on new clothes every day like Gucci Mane. Nolan Richardson says so. There you go. Popping tags is good, but if you're buying for somebody else for the holidays, you want to keep it under $30. Electric toothbrush, dude, it's pretty good. I gotta say, like. Yeah. It's really the new age. And
would recommend.
I was wondering where these things have been forever. I was like, could they do these in the 90s and the 80s? You'd have to have double batteries in there and, you know, like, no, probably not. All right, somebody else has suggested under $30 or less, items for the holidays. How about a headlamp, right? A nice head. I've seen them. They're useful if you have somebody that goes outdoors and camping. You know, you put them on, you feel like a miner, and then it's kind of fun to wear. I never usually get around to using mine.
Well, and when you were rebuilding your computer, you kept needing like light to try to, and so having a headlamp actually would have been really beneficial for you during that time.
Right. So a headlamp under $30. We'll keep going. An electric blanket. Now I haven't had one since I lived with my mom.
Same.
Way back when, but yeah, I would love an electric blanket or like a heat pad from time to time. You know what I'm talking about? Get the boys all warm.
Well, and with the trick with electric blankets is that you're not supposed to really put them over your body. You put them under because the heat rises, right?
No, I didn't know about that. I don't even know about that.
We had an electric blanket, and it never made sense to like put it on yourself because like, there's a little bit of heat, but you get more heat if you put it under your body and then you put a blanket over and then it traps the heat.
Don't you find that you sleep better if the air is cold and you are warm? Like,
totally.
Have you ever been camping and the air outside is really cold, but you're in a sleeping bag, and then like that's the time I get the best sleep when the air is cold. So, dude, he says Nolan Richardson says they have electric hoodies.
Ooh.
Electric hoodies. I went skiing as a young kid or going outside. My toes always get cold. I always wanted electric socks, and I know they make them, but I would shove those hand warmers, into my shoes, and it doesn't work. It does not work. I need the battery operated, and I bet they have a lot more types of electric hoodies and socks nowadays because of the lithium-ion batteries that they have, like the cell phone batteries. And that's why our toothbrushes are possible now. You don't need two AAA Duracells to put in there. So there we go. Anything electric that makes heat, probably pretty good. Electric onesies coming soon, says Lucifer. There we go. That's nice. All right, let's keep going. A bidet attachment for the toilet. Under $30. A bidet. That's the thing that squirts your butt, right? It cleans out with the water.
Well, and then they have them all over Europe.
Preach?
Yes. I totally want a bidet. I would happily take a bidet as a gift because I'm not ashamed.
All right, let me write that down.
Ethan.
Let me write that. Bidet for Kendra.
Ethan from H3H3 talks about how great the bidet is for him. One of the podcast listeners, or one of the podcasters, Stuff You Should Know, he loves bidets. He says it completely changed his life. Wow. He said being a hot man, a big, large man in Atlanta, it's changed his life. So I really want one.
I was into the wet wipes, kind of leave me feeling a little bit cleaner after I took a big deuce. But that's kind of like environmentally not friendly because you're making more waste than a bidet.
Yeah.
But can you trust the water in the bidet? You're gonna I don't know, like
it's supposed to be like it's supposed to have a sterilized nozzle. Like they've got all kinds of options and attachments now. Like you can even have like heated water or cool water. You can like change the pressure.
This is the $30 bidet though.
Yeah, maybe you should splurge for something a little bit more than the
I don't know.
$30.
I heard about a lady getting parasites for using one of those teapot things.
A neti pot.
A neti pot where you like pour it in one nostril and it kind of flushes out. You get this little teapot and you put it in your nose and it really flushes out. I've used one before, and if you're like stuffed and I put salt in it, I think, and it really like cleans out your sinuses. It was amazing and gross at the same time, but she got like parasites. She lived in Seattle because she used tap water in the drain, and you're not supposed. You got to use like distilled water specifically. So I'm afraid about like squirting my butt with like toilet water.
Well, your nose is right next to your brain, and I don't think what the bidet is shooting at is going to be right next to your brain.
The Lux Bidet Neo, $120 is $35 on, or $120 is $35 on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there are options.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are also sterilized options. Like, nah.
Yeah, you can always boil tap water. Yeah, so says Lucy in chat. Yeah, I like it. All right. A water drinking fountain
for your cats.
For your cats is the next one. Cat. If you have a cat in your life, I've bought the waterfall thing, and the problem with cats is they don't get enough water, right? They get like infections and stuff or not.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like that's why a lot of times you'll have cats that'll eat like the wet food and stuff because the water's included in their food. Right. And
they like drinking from the faucet too. So this is why. So you give them a little waterfall thing in there, they'll drink water more often. So people say, hey, get one of those for your cat.
Also, their saliva is very viscous. It's very thick, and so if you have like stagnant water, it'll thicken up the water really quickly. So having that flowing water is just good for them.
Okay, so I don't know about this one, but they say also under $30 or less, stuff for the holidays, keeping it $30 for the holidays. Lucy being the one-man spam in chat, thank you for that. He prefers dogs. Cats, dogs, they're all good. A rice cooker. Who needs a rice cooker? You just boil some water and you throw the rice in. I mean, do you really need a rice cooker for that?
Well, I mean, my mom totally bought a rice cooker after she heard somebody say that it changed her life.
Why?
And she liked it, but it made a giant mess.
It's all right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like one more kitchen accessory,
How about this? This is also $30 or less, a state park pass. Under $30. Now, in Michigan where we live, don't stalk us, but it's like $11 with your ID. $11 for a state park pass, which is pretty good. Totally worth it. I think Colorado it's $70. California it's $195.
Jeez.
So look up your state that you're in. But a state park pass is great, and anybody. It'll urge them to get outdoors. Michigan is great, by the way. Nolan Richardson says, fuck Michigan. But I say Michigan's great. We just legalized cannabis for recreational use. You can go out and smoke on the streets if you want.
Well,
that's very very progressive right now.
Very progressive.
What are you, from Ohio, Nolan? What do you got? What are your problems with Michigan now?
You always used to call Michigan what? East Coast? Something East Coast. You called it California too or something like that because of how beautiful we are and the lake is there. I mean, it gets a little chilly, but whatever.
Yeah. Michigan, $11 is real cheap. Michigan. Oh, he took it back. Nolan Richardson, thank you very much, buddy. Okay, items for under $30 and less. Now, when somebody talks about bad gifts for the holidays, like when you're younger, I got socks and underwear. Now, as an adult, I want socks and underwear, really, because I'm not going out and buying them. So I prefer. Not
unless you're thinking about it.
So they say getting high quality underwear is a great thing. It's a good gift. I don't know if you want to buy it for anybody underwear, it might be taken the wrong way.
Well, unless it's like, I don't know, parents.
I'm not buying my mom underwear.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Weird.
Well, I mean, but when
That's
you have kids, though, it's not uncommon to give your children. I think even as an adult, my mom's given me like, here you go.
Well, I always get the 8 pairs in a bag for $20, right?
Yeah.
That's what so it was like, you know, if you get like a really good quality, the kind that just hang, maybe they say it's a world of difference. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Totally, I feel you. Like I mean, high quality underwear is nice, but it is expensive, and so it's hard to want to buy it for yourself.
This is one that I want. Items under $30 for the holidays. Okay, an electric kettle.
Good choice.
An electric kettle.
Yeah.
That's what they heat so fast. Now you put the water on and it's easy to do, but like for making tea or even coffee, which we French press coffee here.
Hot chocolate.
Boom, coffee right there.
I mean, you know, boiling water. There's so many reasons why an electric kettle is just the thing to get. I mean, sometimes you can see the water boiling, which is cool. Like, agree.
Okay, totally. Let's go. What is a tub shroom? A tub shroom was suggested. If you have long hair, get a tub shroom, right?
Yeah.
Stops all your hair from going down the drain. Ooh. How many people in your life have you ever like known that does your hair clog the drain? You got curly hair.
Very much so.
Really?
Yeah. I've finally figured out a system where it doesn't.
This is more of a woman's problem.
But
I think,
yeah, it's a real problem. When you have curly, thin, fine hair like mine, like a lot of women that have texture like mine hair, it's just gets gross. It can be like a little swamp creature down in the tub. So
also they say a meat thermometer. That'd be nice.
Yeah, meat
thermometer
would be nice.
Boom. It kind of looks weird. They opened it up. Oh, meat thermometer. But you know what? It changed people's lives. Well cooked. You can get the temps right. Instant. You stick it in. You get the temp. And you're set. Meat thermometer for the holidays. Pretty good. These are items under $30 that can really change people's lives.
And you're really thinking about their health, too, because you want to make sure that meat is cooked properly. So, agree.
Also suggested silicone baking sheets. Silicone baking sheets. Silpat, the brand name that's at Costco. They're like $15 for 3. They say that you can, no parchment paper, easy to wash. They're called silicone baking sheets. So check those out. Thermal cups. What about this? The age of thermal cups. $30 or less. Warm stuff warm, cold stuff cold. You know, you've seen them, right? The Arctic versions or what is it?
The Tervis cups, you mean? Like where it's got two layers too?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. The thermal. Yeah, but the metal ones, right?
Oh, okay. The big fancy ones that have the tops.
Yeah. What is it? What is the brand names?
Thermos. I mean, Thermos is one of those brands.
Yeah, but there was one really trendy one. Tumblr, the Arctic, RTIC. Yeah, that's right.
That sounds right.
Arctic Stainless. Yeah. I don't know. There's other brands too, but check them out. You know, you see them at the stores all the time, but they're really, really good. They keep like cold drinks cold in the summertime, and you put some ice in it. You can set it down for hours, and I was really surprised how well they work. Someone had a thermos cup, kept warm liquids warm for 8 hours and cold for 25 hours. Cold for 25 hours.
Wow.
The cold just keeps cold. How about this? Jumper cables.
That's smart.
Change somebody's life. Well, just find out if they have them or not.
Well, and I mean, and you can also get like the emergency packs sometimes where it has not just the jumper cables, but also like gloves and like the cones to put like in case you got.
My truck was breaking down all the time. I actually got it cost $100, but it's self jumper. I could jump without having any other cars around, and it was a truck too, so it's like it takes a lot of energy to take. And it's good, but it also has like an air pump on it. It also has like electrical sockets, USB ports that I can plug things into, regular AC/DC plug-ins. So it really kind of is a lifesaver. So check that out. But anyway, jumper cables for the car could be life-saving. Anything else right now? Somebody says chickens. Buy chickens. I wouldn't buy chickens.
Disagree.
Nothing like getting responsibility.
Nothing like getting salmonella and almost dying.
What about a crock pot?
Oh, crock pots are great. They are great. I mean, I have one that my mom gave to me that she had from like when I was growing up.
It's like a set it and forget it type of thing, right?
It is. It's very useful. You can make lots of things in crock pots. You can make anything from spaghetti to chicken Alfredo to just like a roast. So crock pots are a classic item.
Somebody also says a pull-up bar. for the holidays. I don't know about getting somebody workout equipment. You might be suggesting too much, but a lot of people seem to like them. You can just like kind of put them in your doorways now, and like just do some pull-ups and be on with your day.
I mean, if they're into exercise, like one year my mom totally got my dad an exercise machine because his was starting to fail, and my dad exercises regularly on his exercise machine. He does not have a gym membership. He just has a home gym. So if that's what they're into, it makes sense.
All right. Subject about what's good for Xmas Day activities and foods. Maybe next week. We got a big show. Let's move on to the next topic today here live as we continue the Shoot the Messenger podcast. Feel free to jump in on the chat.
All right. So I wanted to talk briefly about the fact that I've been getting several emails from the Electric Forest. Last year, we had the privilege of going to Electric Forest. And
what is Electric Forest?
Electric Forest is a EDM festival. It takes place in
electric dance
Michigan.
Music.
Yeah, electric dance music, and they.
Forest got 2 T's. No, it doesn't.
No.
I'm good at spelling. Go ahead.
So I've been getting emails, and I got an email last week basically being like, hey, make sure you buy tickets. You can get a discount for being a loyalty member, which means that I bought a ticket last year. And it was only like $15 off. And I was like, for tickets that cost like $400, $350, $400.
Wow. Okay, so $350 for this thing?
Yeah, because it's a 4-night or 4-day party. It's like there's 3 different stages. There's a boatload of bands that show up to this thing.
Right.
It's just all day events. They decorate the forest in all of these like rave type decorations. So it looks really magical because the forest and, when we're talking to some of the other people that have been to other EDM festivals, they talk about the fact that like this has the most trees of any EDM fest.
And now that pot is legal, it's going to have the most trees. Hey.
So I got this email basically being like, hey, make sure you buy your tickets. They go on sale on the 6th for loyalty members, and then on December 7th.
So this is it right here. We got it playing right now. This is Electric Forest. And it's something when we went, now I'm going to spill it, when we worked in radio morning show, we got free tickets. So we never would have paid to do this. But since we got free tickets, we went and we had a blast.
Yeah.
We had a blast. Like they have the 19th, this is called the Hangar. Where people are hanging out. There's I don't know about the water slide, but there's people walking around in character. The light shows are amazing.
They have a giant carousel, not a carousel, Ferris wheel that you can ride in the Ferris wheel. They have hot air balloon rides. So a
lot of people on drugs.
It's an experience.
Let's face it. But it is a mass of people. We're talking like 40,000 people. But compared to Woodstock, that was like 400,000 people. But it's so many people. Burlesque shows, yeah, sure, that was there. And I do have to say that some people that if you didn't have money, you can work there. You can like work the attendance, and then that's how they pay for their ticket.
Yeah. You can
sign
volunteer
up to work there. I didn't
like
know
clean
that.
and stuff, and then you can get in for free, basically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's totally hashtag would recommend.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
just to see the forest, to see the stage, to feel like that, to be around that many people. And like for people that don't like crowds, I can understand that might be too much.
See, this is the forest here. This is in the trees and stuff right now, Sherwood Forest, and it is lit up. Professional lighting. Now, these guys do EDC in Las Vegas, and they come to Michigan and do this. And it's, desolate forest. I mean, it's not desolate, but it's a nice walking forest, and you hear these like deep jungle beats within. Pretty sweet.
And I mean, even though it has 3 different
this is huge.
stages.
This is just a part of it.
Even though it has 3 different stages.
7?
7?
7 stages?
Oh, you're right. You're also including, there were like multiple smaller ones. They have like the 3 big ones, and then they have multiple smaller ones throughout. It's not too much. Like they're actually spread out far enough that like it feels like you're entering these different areas, and the music isn't overplaying each other. They even have like a silent disco in the middle where like the music is kind of intersecting. So like you put on the headphones and then you can do the silent disco.
There is a jam band there too. I mean, there's a lot of younger things, but you see this. This is this band's called the String Cheese Incident, who headline every single year.
People love the String Cheese Incident.
Yeah, it's kind of like jam band, you know, like songs that go on for like 12 minutes and stuff like that. Pretty cool to like put a blanket down on the lawn and just kind of hang out after a long day in the sun. Also, I should mention that it was fun to put the hammock up. Right, you can put it, if you bring a hammock, you can set it up in the trees and just kind of like take a nap while you're in the venue, you know, which is kind of original, man. You can't do that at every festival.
No.
So it's really nice. People come from all walks of life. A lot of Chicago people coming in and doing it. And, you know, kind of played out, but, you know, Forest family, happy forest is what they say. Anyway, what did you want to talk about
So
when it comes to this?
I wanted,
Look at the cops, man. Sorry.
Let's talk briefly about security. They hired the state police, the Michigan State Police, to come in and patrol this thing. And I actually was talking to somebody who knows a state police officer who worked it, and he was talking to his buddy about it, and he said, like, do you bust people for smoking pot? And he was like, no, man. Like, we would be busy all day if we were worried about pot.
I actually have an Instagram photo with this guy right here getting more bracelets. That's so funny. There he is. That's him. Yeah, because his arm was full of bracelets. And it's kind of crazy to see. People are like, you know, high on ecstasy or whatever they're doing, acid, I don't know. But, and they're like, hey, holding hands with the cop and wanting to talk to them. And, I mean, look what this guy's wearing. Jesus Christ. A lot of tits and ass there. You know, I got to say there's a lot of boobage.
The picture that you have of the police officer, you can't see the chick that's handing him the bracelets, but she's just wearing pasties. Like, so yeah, I mean, and I really love the costumes. I don't get to wear what I want to wear every day because I'd be considered a freak. So like the forest really gives me an opportunity to dress
the
however
freak.
I
Everybody's
want.
a freak. You find out like I'm like, man, why don't these people wear this in the real world? If this is what I wear, I'm looking like this when I'm walking around the forest. I'm looking like I am right now. But they're like, people are like getting, you know, this is kind of normal, kind of ish right here, but. You know, they're flowers, their faces all glittery. They really get into the whole aspect of Electric Forest. And you told me it was sold out already, huh?
Yes, tickets went on sale for the general public yesterday at noon, on December 7th at noon. It is currently December 8th at 2 p.m., and it's sold out. Everything is sold out.
Wow.
General admissions, Good Life, Back 40, Frontier Suite Lodging.
I don't even know if it sold out last year.
It didn't. But they also had 2 weekends last year. They are only doing it 1 weekend this year.
Okay, so it's sold out. Wow. Yeah,
So,
there's a
I
little
mean-
bit of forest life. You know, it's a break from the norm. Look at how trashy this looks, though. I mean, you know, like, you know, people set up full campsites. You notice they don't just have regular tents. They have tents that you can stand up in.
Mm-hmm.
The wind was picking up last year and kind of throwing some stuff around. But, you know, go back, hang out, chill. I bet some people never even make it into the festival. They just come to the parking lot. This is in the parking lot, basically, right?
Yeah. This isn't even in the venue.
Where the people park, right? Yeah, and after 3 days, you know, they do have showers you can buy, you know, and kind of wash up. But, you know, frankly, at that time, we lived so close, we could go back to the house and just kind of recharge, take a nap, and go back.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, people have different, like...
This is something you see a lot, too, if I can point it out. Some guy, like, he's wearing the hat and he's got all the pins. He's been everywhere, right? You know, this dude's been to all the venues. And it's just like, I don't know, man.
Well, and like Forest is one of those things that people will come back year after year to, and they'll hang out with the same group of people, and like they'll meet new people sometimes. But you know, it's certainly something that like people make an effort to go to.
I don't know. It's like it's got that aspect of people trying to fit in though. Like you wear the pins on the hat. Oh, I'm gonna wear the pins on the hat too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're original, but we still want to conform and feel a part of something. I got the pins on the hat too. You know, so, you know, in some ways I think it's kind of played out.
It's humanity, AJ. It is, you know, it is individuality and
Is that individuality?
Community.
Is that individuality?
Hey, you didn't listen to the rest of my sentence.
And community.
Community.
I did. I heard. Anyway, it's sold out. That was your good story for the day?
Yes, they're all sold out. I really find it interesting. You know, people think, oh, it's so surprising. Like, oh, it's so cool. Bass Nectar is going to play. Like, Bass Nectar plays every year. You know, so that's not as big of a deal. I was going to go into who is going to play this year, but since they're already sold out, it doesn't really make much sense for us to get into who's playing.
It doesn't even matter.
And I mean, and honestly, I also didn't see anybody that I was interested in. Like last year, they had Too Many Zoos, and they had Marshmallow, and they had Marion Hill, and they had a few others that I was really interested in. And this year, I don't even recognize any of the band names.
Yeah. Yes.
So-
Yes. That's right. My name is AJ. Yes. Yeah. Welcome. So, yeah. People in chat figuring out my real name.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. So let's move on to the next topic here.
Let's.
Okay. All right. I brought this up. This guy arrested for shoplifting after a job interview.
Oh.
I love it. This was at Kohl's, okay? Kohl's department store. His name is Dominic Breedlove. In where else? No other but Florida. In the land of Florida. And so what happened was he went, did a job interview, just a little bit after noon, and he went and tried on some shoes and found that they didn't have the security tags on them. So he went to the car, grabbed a bag, and stole 2 pairs of shoes, one woman's shoe and another pair for himself.
Well, and it looks like, according to the article, he actually tried to return the shoes first. He was going to try to return them because he went to the customer service desk with his bag.
Wow.
And then he saw how long the line was. So he just went, stole another pair of shoes and left.
Wow. And they said, you wonder how this goes down. The secret shopper, as it were. What do they call that? What do they call the guy that loss prevention officer or whatever?
Yes, loss prevention.
Now I've seen people trying to hire loss prevention officers. And my days when I was a young kid, I worked at electronics department at Walmart, and there was a guy who, unbeknownst to us, they didn't let us know who it was, but after you work for a certain amount, you see somebody at the store so often. And I watched him, scoping people out and making sure they weren't stealing. And he would look in between the holes, how the little holes in the metal framing between.
Okay, it's across the aisle?
Yeah, and
through the aisle?
Through the aisle. And he would peek and walk around and follow people and really get on. And he was dressed kind of flannel and baggy jeans. So you don't know who they're. Undercover cop. I think that job would be so fun.
It would be fun.
I think it'd be kind of acting in a way, But
Well, I wouldn't want to I would think it would be fun until I had to confront somebody about stealing, and then I would be like, nah, I'm out.
But Dominic Breedlove, man, nothing like going to a job interview. This is things you do when you're young and dumb, I guess. Job interview. He's gonna regret this for a while, man. How much do you think this kid has stolen? It's probably not, some people probably go through and steal a lot of things. It's just never been in me to steal. I don't want to get caught because I got enough luck I would get caught. But this kid, Dominic Breedlove, from Spring Hill, after a job interview decides to steal. Now,
it's obviously he's done it before since he knew to go to his car, grab an old bag, fill up the bag. It screams.
Did you ever have a friend that stole and you're like, holy crap?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hang out with great people for a while.
Right.
And so a lot of my friends stole for a while. Even though
really?
Yeah, no, it wasn't an isolated incident.
And here your parents own a store and you're like, yeah, that's okay, steal.
Well, and that's why you kind of caught me earlier when you're like, yeah, steal from a corporate entity, but don't steal from a mom and pop store. And that's kind of the philosophy I took from it too, is I was like, well, this is a corporate business. It's not hurting, some small business owner. This is hurting Walmart,
right.
Or so yeah. No, I didn't hang out with.
I was in the mall
I didn't make
one
great
time.
Decisions.
I was in the mall one time with a friend, and he had a problem stealing. He was we were in a group where we would teach kids and sing and dance and act and do things like that. And we went to a hat store, and he walked out like this, and he held the hat to his chest as he walked out. And in front of him and stole the hat. We went to Abercrombie and Fitch, and he took out the cologne out of the thing, and as he's walking out, it went boom, 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 and it's the thing went off, and he just kept walking, and he didn't get caught. And I walk out there, and mind you, we're touring across the country, so if he gets caught, he's getting kicked off tour, and I'm like, what'd you steal? He's like, because I knew him at that point, right? Mm-hmm. And he's, so some people really have a problem, they just want to steal things kind of for the rush, and maybe this guy has it. I'm glad I never had that rush in me to try to take things like that. Mm-hmm. But there you go, 3:20 p.m. Wednesday, human resources. The job interview probably didn't go well. You know what I'm saying?
That does raise the question of why they were even like watching him via surveillance too, because like he was arrested out in the parking lot. So it's obvious that they were like, oh, he just interviewed. Let's go ahead and watch this guy.
Nike Air Bella TR. Let's take a look at these shoes that he's stealing, huh? You want to see? I want to.
Yeah. Nike. I mean, it's got the brand name attached to it, so it's probably
Nike Air Bella TR. I don't want to do the Elon Musk thing. Let me see. Nike Air Bella's TR. Let me see. Okay, all right. So we got him. He's trying to get his girlfriend some shoes. Like, look what I did. I went to a job interview and I stole you some shoes. So
how sweet.
Those are pretty dope, actually. I don't mind those. They're all right.
All tennis shoes look the same to me. I'm lame. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I like heels.
It's true. You're kind of lame. No, it's fine.
Oh.
All right. So let's go to the next topic. That was Florida man. Is it me again?
It's all you.
Okay, I'll take her home here. Elon Musk. Okay, let me make sure I'm checking. Elon Musk has no idea how to smoke pot. Kendra, no idea. Now, he's going to be on 60 Minutes on Sunday, right? And I guess the viewing demographic for 60 Minutes is 65 and older, which is crazy.
Makes
Super
sense.
old. But anyway, he was on the Joe Rogan show, and of course, if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, which we do,
Yeah.
JRE, the Joe Rogan Experience, he clearly doesn't know how to smoke pot, right?
Yeah.
He takes it, doesn't hit it, doesn't inhale, right? He's like, "Oh, is that a cigar or is that a joint? What do you have here?" So, I think he's an interesting individual. I like talking about Elon. I like finding out what he's doing next. They just had the Falcon rocket return, and it did a water landing recently, which was pretty crazy. Did you see that?
I don't think was that the one that crashed. I saw the one that crashed. I did not see the one that actually successfully engaged.
No. They're reusing. It's a water landing. They're reusing the rocket. It was. I think it was intentional. They say it's a water landing, so they don't say it was a crash. So you can see the rocket coming in here. And also, we'll talk a little bit more about Elon in a second, though. And the thing was spinning, and then that looks like something from science fiction right there.
Yeah.
Boom, and they're pushing the rocket back with a tugboat, and they're gonna be able to reuse it. Boom.
Welcome to the future.
Bam, and there you go. It just lands right in the water. It doesn't even need to land on the movable platform now.
Wow.
So there you go. Also, isn't that pretty sweet?
I am so happy to be alive at this time. I really do feel like I'm living in a science fiction novel.
Would you go to Mars?
No.
You're not going to Mars?
No.
Also, Tesla, his car company, which, Elon recently said that if, in the 60 Minutes interview, if Tesla fails because they're making better electric cars like GM or Ford or somebody is, at least it moved humanity forward, and he still thinks it's a good thing. Anyway, GM shut down several plants, so we have these big empty plants, and Elon's going to consider buying these plants to, build Tesla cars. So keep them working again.
It's not the first time that he's done this either. He did that back in 2010. He bought an old car factory. I mean, granted, it's been 8 years. Tesla is obviously much farther now today than it was. But I'm a big advocate of reduce, reuse, recycle. And I'd much rather see him use an old factory and hire the already trained workers that exist in that workforce than for him to, reinvest in a brand new building and then have this other building that'll just sit there empty. Right. So I love the idea of him reusing what is already existing.
I like it too. Let me bring up that clip here, Elon Musk.
Is expanding, adding to its workforce, while rival General Motors announced it's planning to lay off some 14,000 employees and idle plants.
Would you want to buy some of those plants, those factories that they're closing down? You're shaking your head yes?
It's possible that we would be interested if we were going to sell a plant or not use it, that we would take it over.
GM also announced that it will double its investment into developing electric cars. And Elon Musk is celebrating.
Why do you want the competition?
The whole point of Tesla is to accelerate the advent of electric vehicles and sustainable transport.
So
We're trying to help the environment. We think it's the most serious problem that humanity faces. I'm not sure if you know, but we open sourced our patents, so anyone who wants to use our patents can use them for free.
Your patents are open source?
Yeah. So if somebody comes and makes a better electric car than Tesla, and it's so much better than ours that we can't sell our cars and we go bankrupt, I still think that's a good thing for the world.
Selfless. That's what you can do when you have like $1 billion, right? You go to Mars and just be self. He's kind of like the way I wish I think I would be if I was a billionaire, or the way I'd want to be if I was a billionaire.
Yeah.
You'd hope you would be if you were a billionaire, right?
Well, and I can't imagine. It's so challenging in my mind to decide, you know what, I've got this innovative idea and I'm going to open source the information. And there are a few companies that really kind of take that philosophy of sharing is caring. And here's my blueprints, make it better, enhance the world. And like, even though like I love that idea, I don't know if I am a big enough person to if I was smart enough to be an inventor, which I'm not. I don't know if I could.
You're doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm not gonna invent anything.
Creative. I mean, so they say he got the money from apartheids in South Africa. His parents did, which I'm not quite up on what apartheids are, but it's some sort of a hand-me-down, and that's what had his startup money. There was recently, what do we have? The battle rap.
It was Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and I'm sure
Epic
everybody's
rap
seen
battles.
that. Elon versus Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. So you get the epic rap battles of history. If you guys haven't seen this,
Couple
check
shots
it
of
out.
espresso. Nice and
Shh, quiet. Anyway, so the epic rap battles, and there's a rhyme in there. You know, something about apartheids. I don't even fucking blink. I'm the CEO of Knowing What You Think, Inc. I like that.
It's good.
Yeah,
Epic
yeah.
rap battles is really, they do good work.
Well, so yeah, see, there you go. He's like right here. Gets dark. Oh my God, I couldn't clean your daddy's laundry without apartheid pods, right? So, apartheid. Did you look it up? What's apartheid?
Well, apartheid.
Give me a definition. I can't do everything.
I'm pretty sure apartheid is what they called, like, it's like separation, right? It's
Yeah. So
people.
yes, exactly. A separation of people. Say, let me play a little bit of this.
Flush a sucker turd for humanity's health. I'm making brilliant innovations in a race against the dark ages. You provide a place to discover your acts. Kind of racist. Got called to Senate. Data hack. You acted so robotic, Star Trek's like, we need Lieutenant Data
Right.
I'm Tony Stark with a James Bond sprinkle toss in. And I've been flossing since you double-crossed the Winklevoss twins.
Data was a lieutenant commander to start, but I wouldn't expect you to understand an org chart. See, here's mine. I'm at the top boss, and I'm spitting fire like I'm hot sauce. You can't sneak up on Zuck. I don't even fucking blink. I'm the CEO and knowing what you think. Hey, I've been looking up your family. It can start. My God, couldn't clean your daddy's laundry with apartheid.
Yeah, we'll do that before we get copyright strikes. But yeah.
So apartheid was the system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa from 1948 until the early 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
So it was incredibly segregated in South Africa. I tried to look up some more information about Elon's connection to it. Elon grew up in the suburbs of Pretoria, which at the same time was a whites only and extremely privileged. City was majority white and wealthy in a country where the whites were about 8% minority.
Really?
Yeah. So he graduated from the Pretoria Boys High School, another whites only school founded by an extremely racist colonel. So racist that he considered Afrikaners an inferior race. So, yeah, his parents were both wealthy. Father was a successful African engineer in apartheid South Africa. His mother was a TV star, and sent all three kids to prestigious universities. So he came from money. Elon Musk did South African money specifically, and It's challenging.
Hey, you know what I say? I can't control what my dad did. I can't control what my grandfather did. I can't control what they. I can't. All I can do is do the best with what I have, what's on my plate, and maybe this is just the white man talking or whatever. Because I am privileged or whatever, and I have these white privileges that I don't even realize that I have comparatively. But it's like I'm trying to do the best I can, and I'm not trying to be these things that maybe my grandfathers were. I don't know if they were, but I'm not trying to do these things, right?
Yeah.
So Elon, in the same way, you got to do the best with what you got. And my God, he's doing great. I think as far as the billionaires go, he's pushing Jeff Bezos to do things in space as well. A little bit of competition there. Donating to charity. Bill Gates doing great things. So,
Well, and I love the fact that he's not waiting until he's questioning his life and mortality before he's doing these things. Like
How old is he?
Rockefeller.
How old is he?
He's in his. He doesn't look old.
I'll check it out.
But Rockefeller, he waited until he was older before Rockefeller.
It's 47.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that did the Nobel Peace Prize, he waited until there was actually a scare. Somebody had written the guy, the Nobel Peace Prize winner's obituary and talked about what a horrible man he was. And he read his own obituary and realized what kind of impact he left on the world. So he created the Nobel Peace Prize. So I'm really pleased to see that it isn't taking Elon having a heart attack or some other kind of death scare for him to decide that he needs to, benefit humanity as a whole and do what he can with the massive amount of privilege that he's been provided in his life.
Right. Wasn't there an astronaut kind of talking smack on him recently? An old astronaut doesn't like that Elon's going to Mars. I saw a clip. Let me bring it up here.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, to circle back while we were talking about Mars, I would never want to go to Mars because I think life on Earth is hard enough, and Mars would be like colonizing a new country, and between disease and the hostile environment.
Gonna be tough. Yeah.
I that's too much work for my privileged little self.
I don't know. It's kind of bigger than you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like
and I don't need to be part of the first 500 people that die there. Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying that you would be, in the history books forever. Your legend would live on. It's something so much bigger than yourself that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That it would, so like making that sacrifice, like the first explorers, Lewis and Clark and things like that. These very first people that made their way to the
Americas. The first girl
keep a diary, we'll read that. People will read it and historians will study you and your life.
The first girl that was born in the Americas, the first white girl that was born in the Americas was actually, she disappeared. She was part of the Roanoke colony that disappeared. And so it's cool. We know that the first girl that was ever born in the Americas, what her name was, but we also know that she disappeared by the time she was 5 and nobody knows where this entire colony went. So, I'm not interested in having that kind of history. Personally, I've got other dreams for my life than going to Mars, in my opinion. Well, if moon travel, if moon tourism becomes a thing, I'll do that. That sounds cool.
Check this out. This is the sound of Mars. This was released yesterday, and they actually, sent this seismometer up. The insight vibrations cause. You can read it right here. So when moving over the solar panels, they raised it a few octaves to make it more audible. So 2 octaves actually. So it'd be really low, but it sounds like a windy day. That's what Mars sounds like.
Desolate. A desert.
Yeah, but you'd have some high-tech stuff in there.
So we don't die.
Well, isn't the world scary enough, with all the wars and, there's always talk of end times and us, destroying ourselves and artificial intelligence. So wouldn't that be a way to get away from these things? Maybe that's why he wants to get over there, because he knows that we're destined to destroy ourselves, right?
Well, yeah, but the first several generations, it will take a while for us to colonize a new planet. It takes several generations because it took a couple generations to even colonize the Americas. Mm-hmm. So to try to colonize an entire planet, make it hospitable, it would definitely be, it would definitely be something that it's not an easy option. Like, we will, and I'm also of the opinion that humanity has a funny way of like creating a problem and figuring out how to fix it in the last second. And so I genuinely believe that even though, global, climate change is a problem, and that there is hope that we will be able to figure out these problems before they kill us all.
Well, yeah, Jesus. God damn.
That's where's the cue the thunder?
Buzz Aldrin says there's a problem with it, and many of the astronauts, former NASA astronauts, they're getting old. They need to get out of the way for innovation, and I think that it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a cool thing. I want them to do it. I think the technology's there. I do think, when you have like a rocket ships, there's like 4 or 5 fail safes for life support and things like that, so they're very, very careful on these things, but there's always mess ups, man. There's always some screw ups. There's always like launch failure or something like that. So you got to be mindful of these things, but there's risks, but with risks comes great reward. You know what I'm saying?
True that, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the podcast today. Okay. Thanks for joining us. And this happens every Saturday right here, Twitch TV/Truce Now, or you can catch it at our website. I think this one we might post. Yeah.
Shootthemessenger.net.
Shootthemessenger.net. All right. Thanks, man.